Good afternoon, folks. I see there's... You like that?
It's mint, that, yeah. Sounds very John Carpenter-y.
It is. White Bat Audio, if you ever want to take some like royalty-free music off YouTube.
Oh.
There's a guy called White Bat Audio, and he just specializes in Carpenter-sounding music, which you can take and use as intros and things. So, yeah, no, he does some good stuff. He's fantastic. But if you don't credit him, you end up getting a copyright notice. So you've always got to make sure you put a credit in the description.
Right.
Because he'll have you. Good afternoon, folks. Thank you for joining us. There's already 18 of us here waiting and ready to go. Welcome to Nigel again. It was a couple of months since.
Thank you very much for having the guts to have me back.
No, I very enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed the last
I did.
That we did the Video Nasties one, and it did really well. So I thought, well, I have to get this guy back on. It's like one of my second biggest videos. So that's really cool. And you know, I did 5 of those Nasties episodes, and I had to have a break. You know, it got to the point where I was like, yeah, I need to kind of lighten this up a little bit. So I've taken a break from it, and then I'm going to start again. I've got a few other people lined up to come back on, and I don't know, maybe you'll come back on again and pick another 5 horrible films.
I will, you bloody lightweight having to take a break.
No, it was. I really enjoyed doing it, but I realized that after like 4 weeks or something, that I'd really covered the kind of the sort of more popular ones, and we were going to start getting into the kind of really like shit films, like really awful films. And I thought, you know what? I'll have a little pause, recalibrate. There's 140, 150, something like that in total.
Oh, God. I can't even remember. I know there's 39 in section 1. Is there?
Actually, I've got it here. I think there might even be
there was
more.
70 odd in total in section 1 and 2, I think.
Yeah, and then another 70 in section 3.
And then another, I think it was 70 or 80 odd in section 3, yeah.
Yeah, so it's about 130, 140 in total. So there's still lots more to talk about because I've only really covered 25. But no, I'm going to come back to that maybe in a month or two. But for today, we're going to talk about Shout Factory.
Yes.
Shout Factory have been around now since 2002. They were founded in 2002.
Wow.
They've got a few sub-labels as well. So you've got Scream Factory, which deal more in the horror stuff. You've got Shout Select, which they're more sort of critically acclaimed films. They also have their Steelbook lines. And also animation stuff as well that they cover as well. But I think most of ours will probably fall into the sort of Scream Factory. I'm guessing. I know mine do.
All mine do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay. Can
you remember what your very, very first either Scream or Shout Factory title you ever got was?
Oh, now you're asking.
I remember mine because mine's a DVD. It was before Blu-ray was out, I think.
Oh, wow. I'm going to say, I think it's probably Halloween. No, it isn't. No. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
I bet you wouldn't guess in a million years what mine was.
Go on. Was it one of the Halloweens or something like that?
No. It was the Sex Pistols film, The Great Rock and Roll Swindle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'd have to think because I'd have to look in the backs of these things and figure out what it would be. But it could have been one of the. Would it have been Return of the Living Dead or something? No, who knows? Anyway, what's your number 10 then? Your first choice.
Right, my number 10 is a Blu-ray, and it is one that never ever came with the slipcover. I got this as a blind buy, just like the sound of the story. This is called Eyes of a Stranger.
I know it.
Have you seen it?
I have seen it. Yeah.
What a film this is. So it's got Jennifer Jason Leigh as this blind girl.
Yeah.
And she lives with her sister. and there's this murderer. He is really messed up.
Yeah.
And they live in these like block of flats, and she then discovers that he's in the opposite block facing them. And there was a bit of controversy about this, which I didn't realise. But you do see Jennifer Jason Leigh do a frontal. She gets her baps out. But when they started making this, she was 17.
Yeah. Ah, okay.
Now, believe this if you want to, because I don't buy this. So before she did the frontal, she turned 18 while they were filming. So they waited till she turned 18 before they filmed that scene. Bullshit! I don't believe that. I don't believe it.
Well, worse things happened in the UK, because if you remember, and I saw a documentary on TV recently, whereas very nice. So if you remember in the UK, Sam Fox, when the Sun introduced the world to Sam Fox,
yeah,
she was 15.
No way.
And they had a countdown in their newspapers until she was 16, until she could go fully topless. How unbelievable is that? So
God, that is one big pair of wabs for that age, isn't it?
Jeez. Oh. It's but so yeah, so I can imagine that filmmaker back in 1981 would do something like that, because over here similar things happened, yeah.
We had to wait till she turned 18. Of course you did. Directed by Ken Widerhorn. Now, I've heard that name before.
Ken Widerhorn.
What a name.
How appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lauren Tews in it. I never knew the name, but I know the actress's face.
Okay. She
was another one we were talking earlier on about people who were in 70s stuff. She was in a lot of 70s stuff.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about,
this is brutal in parts, this. What a film.
I have seen it. I've seen it a long time ago. It came out, I think, in the year that pretty much every slasher film in the 80s came out, which was 81.
1980.
Is it 80? I thought it was released in 81. Okay.
And you know what it was who've made it here? It's the same as the original Friday the 13th, Georgetown Productions.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my number 10. Eyes of a Stranger. Highly recommended.
Good stuff. Yeah, no, it is one of those titles that I have seen in the past, but I haven't. I don't own it, and I don't remember it being that good. In all honesty, was it good?
Well, like I say, I'd never seen it before. I didn't realize until I saw the cover, and then I thought, I do remember that in video shops, but you can actually get it. Well, you could. You know, the big rental only Warner Brothers ones. You couldn't buy them; they were rental only. It was out on that.
Oh, right. Okay.
And it's only 85 minutes as well. But yeah, I'm sure the guy who plays the killer, because it's not a whodunit, you know it is straight away. I'm sure he was like a comedy actor. He was known for comedy.
Oh, right. Okay.
And he said, I can't do it, all right.
He managed it.
He did it a little bit too well.
Okay, so my first one is a movie I watched this morning. I bought this a few weeks ago. I've seen it loads of time before. Frank and I on our other channel have spoken about this at length in the past, but it is Humanoids from the Deep, which is an old Roger Corman movie from 1980. Doug McClure, who I talked to you about earlier, and you weren't sure who he was. Doug McClure was in a lot of those kind of man v monster. Usually monster was a man in a suit as well. Like a giant squid he was in a movie my dad took me to see in the probably late 70s, early 80s called Warlords of Atlantis. He was also in, I think, like those kind of like the Land That Time Forgot, and he was in a lot of westerns as well. But he was also in this movie with Vic Morrow called Humanoids from the Deep. In the UK, it was called Monster. And basically, it's to do with the genetically modified salmon that mutate and turn into people and need to have sex to continue to evolve. And so these fish walk onto land and start attacking women.
Genetically modified salmon.
Yeah,
what a storyline!
It's a bizarre story. It's pretty graphic as well in terms of both its gore and its nudity, things like that. But it's actually directed by a woman called Barbara Peters, and Corman gave her like a directive to go out and be as exploitative as possible with the men in terms of their killing, and the women in terms of the saucy scenes when the fish attack them. She delivered the film. The film wasn't actually that explicit in terms of nudity when she turned it in. So what he basically did was take the film off of her. A second unit went out and reshot like a kind of quarter of the movie, and it ended up being this huge kind of exploitation film. It is good fun. It is only about 75 minutes as well. When the credits hit, it's about 75 minutes in or something. But it is a good old romp. It's Rob Bottin that's done all the effects in this film as well. Rob Bottin from The Thing.
I've heard of a hell of a lot of genres of the adult entertainment, but salmon porn is a new one on me. I don't know whether I want to see it now.
It's fun. Honestly, it is fun. It's a lot of fun. It's got a really good cast, like I say, Vic Morrow, Doug McClure, Anne Turkle, Richard Harris's wife. She's in it as well. So yeah, I definitely, and they've done a great job with the transfer, and you get both theatrical and unrated cuts as well. So you get the original director's vision and the dirty vision that Roger Corman had as well. So
that guy you mentioned who's in it, the main star, I said I hadn't heard of.
Doug McClure.
Yeah, when you showed me the photo, and I was like, is he in a film called The Nesting? And you looked and there he was. Yeah. I've actually got The Nesting on Blu-ray. It's on Blue Underground, but Vinegar Syndrome have just released it on 4K.
Well,
it's a really good film as well, you know.
I haven't seen it actually, but
The Nesting, yeah, it's got a really good story.
Cool. All right, well, maybe I have to check that out because I do like a bit of Doug McClure. Don Mack says Doug McClure was in a lot of crap, most of which I love. What would your number 9 be?
My number 9 would be. This is another Blu-ray. This is a collector's edition. I think I picked this one because this has got the rare as rocking horse shit slipcover. But not only that, the first time I watched this film absolutely blew me away. You'll know what I mean when I say the ending, Sleepaway Camp.
Ah, yeah, I have that.
I do have 2 and 3 as well. They've all got the slips, and like 2 and 3 go for like ridiculous amounts of money. And I found out that I think it's Kino Lorber, who I detest, have bought the rights for these. So Screen Factory will not be doing a 4K of these. They don't have the rights anymore.
Okay.
Kino Lorber bought the rights for them because I think they were only interested in re-releasing this. They have no interest in releasing 2 and 3, and people are not very happy because like they're not the easiest to find. You can get the 88 film ones, but it's the people want the Screen Factory ones. And I love that original artwork as well.
Yes. No, that's a good poster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have that. I've forgotten all about that one. I have it out on the shelf out there, actually. Just for everyone else, Nigel. So you have a bit of an obsession with slips, right?
Yeah.
Just talk to us about how important slips are, because they never used to do them when you bought DVDs and Blu-rays. It's more of a thing that's kind of happened over the last 10, 15 years, isn't it?
Yeah. I think when they first started, there was some with DVD, and I used to I started thinking, oh, look at them. I was absolutely mortified to find out that a lot of people would get that, just take it out and then just bin the slip. I'm like, are you mental? But if I know something has a slip and I see it for sale and it doesn't have the slip, I will not buy the film. It's got to have the slip if I know it came with one. And usually if the one comes out in the UK, if it doesn't have a slip, but the American one does, I will get the American one.
Would you?
I did it with X and Pearl, and I'm going to do it with Maxine as well.
Would you return a Blu-ray if it arrived without the slip?
I did.
You did?
Once. Twice.
Yeah.
Once was this year. The first time was Jaws 2 on 4K.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure whether the English one was going to have a slip knock, but I did get that collector's one as well. But being a Jaws geek, I had to have the normal one as well. When it turned up from Amazon, no slip, well, yeah, back it goes. So I got the American one.
Yeah.
And the one that happened with this year, it was in a sale. It was the remake of The Last House on the Left. And it was only the Blu-ray, not the 4K. I thought, what's the point of getting the 4K? Because you get both cuts of the film, but it's only the theatrical cut that's in 4K. Yeah. Everybody's going to watch the unrated one. So I thought, I'll get the Blu-ray. It was in a sale, turned up, bog standard case. I was like, yep, back you go.
That's how important it is to you. It's it's a real collector's thing, and this is something that, because I've only recently gone back to purchasing physical media after a long stay away from it. It's something that I'm finding that's so important to people who collect. And even so, you will find that people will sell just slips.
Yeah, they do.
On eBay, you know. It's interesting. And what I like about it is that, and do I have an example here? Let me just have a look. I'll show you an example later on, especially when you get the reversible artwork, that you have the slip cover with the on recommissioned artwork, and then you can flip the artwork on the actual disc and have the the alternative one, which that's quite a nice little touch, I think.
Oh, this is the unrated version. I didn't realize that as well. But yeah, this has got a really shocking ending. It's just it's a regular sort of camp film type of thing. It's not the same as Friday the 13th, but it's like this accident happens, and then it jumps to years later, and they open up the camp and that, and this lad and lass go, who you think kind of like brother and sister, but they're not the cousins. But my God, it's a weird one, but in a good way. It's such a good film.
Oh, it is. It's terrific.
Like, the cook in the kitchen, or chef, whatever you want to call him, he's vile. He's disgusting.
Yeah, he has a penchant for some of the younger campers, I think.
And he doesn't hide the fact.
No. One of my favorite moments is there's a policeman in it who has a mustache, and they had to do some reshoots, and he'd shaved his mustache off.
Yeah,
and so they got like electrician's tape and just
it is ridiculous. But it does have some brutal scenes in it, though. It's like,
it does.
But saying it's very low budget. Some of the effects in this are fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, it's great.
So
fun.
yeah,
it is.
It is such a really, really good film, and it's different.
Yeah.
And plus that slip is like not the easiest to get, so that's why that one is at number 9. There's loads of films I could have picked, but I thought I've got to put this because it's getting more and more love this as time goes on.
Yeah.
The other two are good, but they're nowhere near as good as this.
I mean, there's like 4 or 5 of them, isn't there?
Yeah, apparently the 4th one is really, really awful.
Yeah.
Bad, as in like not gory, but as in shit.
Isn't there one that's got, if I remember right, I think it's Bruce Springsteen's sister is the lead girl.
Yeah, I think it's the second one.
Yeah. That's a lot of fun.
Totally disowned it. She wants nothing to do with it. She will not even talk about it.
Let's have a look at the chat, see what's going on in the chat. Don Max says, I had trouble looking up this channel. I searched for Mr. Sandsman, but it didn't show up. So I searched for Mr. Sandsman Nasties, and it's the first result. Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe just changing the name because I've noticed that that's an issue, because all it does is if you type in Mr. Sandsman, it just brings up Mr. Sandman, the song. That's it.
Yeah, well, I typed in Mr. Sandsman channel, and it comes up.
Oh, it did. It did.
Yeah, if you type channel after it did for me straight away.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Because I'm thinking about changing it to what everybody said I should have called it in the first place, which is Only Sans. Which I think might work better. Because it's a bit of a novelty name, but we'll see how it goes over the next month.
A bit of a novelty name, you think?
Well, it is my name. I can't change that.
I'm on a live stream tomorrow. Oh, whose channel you're on?
Only Sans.
Oh, only Sans. Only fans, no, but you're not far.
Shangrock Ball says, "Can't believe you got Ricky Tom." Oh, Jesus Christ! Ricky
not another one.
Blake from ATG.
At least I've got normal shaped balls.
Blake from ATG and AT says, "Is Nigel going to watch WrestleMania tonight?"
I would rather bathe in my own feces.
I'm guessing not. I'm guessing
no.
And Blake also adds, "Love Sleep Away." No, he asked something about, did Nigel ever go to a summer camp growing up?
No, you're not going to believe me, but I'm being deadly serious. I was terrified of everybody. I was a loner. Somebody come in the house, I would not speak. I was terrified. I was such a shy, lonely kid. Even like when I was 18, everybody else was going to pubs and that. And I was in my bedroom playing my records.
Yeah, also, I think.
And then when I started like working, I went on one of those employment training things when you claim and when you leave school and stuff. And then I turned 21, and my mother just said I turned into this monster. I don't know what the hell happened.
Video nasties, that's what's happened.
Oh God, no! Yes, it must have been. Yeah, I was going to say that was before, but it wasn't. I was even in the seniors at school. I mean, I was bullied at school, and I wouldn't say boo to a goose, terrified.
Yeah. But
if a girl spoke to me, if I had to answer, I'd be like that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Couldn't look them in the face. And I look back now and think, give me the chance to go back. I certainly wouldn't have been a virgin until I was 18 if I could go back.
We spoke about this the other day. Frank and I on the other channel, we were chatting about the fact that if you did have a time machine, what year would you go back to?
But with the brain I've got now and
knowing what you know now, what year would you go back to?
80.
Oh,
80. 2 or 3. Wow. 82 or 3. Okay. When I was 14, 15. And I'd get those wild oats well and truly sown.
I'd kind of like to go back to... There's so much 70s cinema that I'd love to experience properly again. Like a lot of it, I was obviously really young, seeing Star Wars, Superman, all that kind of stuff. But I'd also like to go back and see the likes of Halloween and Dawn of the Dead and that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? In the cinema, and experience all that stuff again. But yeah, it'd probably
if I saw any of them in the cinema when I was at that age, like say 10-year-old, I think I probably would be in hospital, like dying of fright. I saw Jaws on the re-release. It was a double bill with Jaws 2.
So did I.
And at it was at the ABC in Middlesbrough, the one I was at.
Okay.
But I went with my friend from school, whom I've been looking for 40-odd years on Facebook. I finally found him, so we're in contact now. Just send daft little messages. We haven't spoken or anything. It's supposed to be, but he never ended. That's not the point. So we went to see that, and it'll have been 1980, so we were 12. And that opening scene where she goes swimming when the sharks pull her under, I thought I was going to throw up because to me it looked like I'm watching her being killed. It was awful. And I'm going to him, why have I come and seen this? I've seen that when I was 7 when it first come out. And I've been traumatized. How the hell did that get a PG?
Well, there was nothing else really, was there? I mean, it was
A, 15.
There was a double A or there was or an X, wasn't there? And
there was a U, A, double A, and X, and this was an A. It should have been a double A for me.
Yeah.
There was no in between then, though. There wasn't a 12.
No. And also, Spielberg's had a long relationship with the BBFC, especially with Jurassic Park, which he managed to get them to give it a PG and put a little warning underneath. Do you remember? When that
same with Jaws, maybe too intense or whatever, yeah.
So sometimes they bend over. They used to bend over backwards for certain filmmakers, but
That's all very lovely, but what's your number 9?
My number 9 is
The Blob,
which I saw on release in the cinemas back in '88. It was one of the first sort of 18s that I managed to blag my way into, along with, I think, of the same year, I think I saw Return of the Living Dead 2 and Die Hard in the cinemas during that year. But The Blob was an episode Frank and I did recently on the other channel, and so it prompted me to buy this and revisit it again. And I was staggered at how good this is. And I think it's it's up there with The Fly and The Thing as one of the best horror remakes of all time. I think the effects work looks incredible. The movie's tense. It looks great. It's really well shot. You know, Chuck Russell, who directed it, obviously did movies like Nightmare on Elm Street 4. No, 3.
2. Oh, was it 3?
No, 2 was Jack Shoulder. 3 was Chuck
That's
Russell.
right. Yes, it was 3. Yeah.
Yeah. And then went on to do things like The Mask and Eraser, and so he's a really good filmmaker. It just holds up so well, and it looks so great on screen. The special effects are fantastic. All that practical work that's in there. It's a really great Blu-ray. It's a 4K actually. They did a great job with it. So that is my number 9.
I saw that for the first time last year.
Really? You missed out on it the first time round?
Carlos, really good friends. We've become really good friends. He's on Eastwood for Life and that channel. He actually sent me it on Blu-ray with the slip. He said I could have sold it. He said, but I wanted to go to a good home because I think he upgraded. And I was always like, The Blob. I've never even seen the original. So I watched it with Scott because Scott said, when you watch it, let me watch it with you. So like we did like this and watch it. It absolutely blew me away. I loved it.
Yeah, it's great.
I couldn't believe how good it was.
Oh yeah, it's it really holds up today as well. I mean, even though now it's coming up to, what is it now? It must be 88, so it's 36.
37?
37 years old, and it doesn't look at all.
Is it 37? Yeah.
It would be, yeah. It's coming up to 40 years in 2028.
So it was out for 36 years before I got to see it.
Oh, it was great. It was great seeing it in the cinema when it first came out. But again, I was like you. I think I only went because it was a novelty going to watch 18 rated films at that point. Even though I wasn't old enough, I would have been 16 or something. It was a novelty getting in and going to see 18. So I'd pretty much go and watch everything that came along, you know. Hellraiser 2, like I said, Return of the Living Dead 2, Die Hard, everything that came along I went to see. And that I always remember watching and thinking, bloody hell, this is good. And if you try and describe it to someone, they think you're mad. You know,
that artwork as well makes it look like a really cheap film. So if you've not seen that,
yeah,
do not let that artwork put you off. The Blu-ray slip cover with the original artwork looks far nicer, to be honest. That's the reverse art, but the slip on the Blu-ray, it looks fantastic.
I wonder if it's on here. Is it?
I don't think it is. No, I think that's another alternate artwork, but that's not the newly commissioned one that they did on the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But absolutely cracking film.
Okay, so you're number 8.
I do love this film. But I've picked this one for the edition because it's got like a couple of different, I'm sure it's got a couple of different cuts in it with a different soundtrack or something. But I picked this one as well because of how good the 4K transfer on this is. Return of the Living Dead. Wow. It looks absolutely amazing. I've got the Blu-ray as well with the slip, which is the alternate artwork, but I like this one better. I don't think you even need to give the story of that one. I think everybody's seen this. It's funny, it's gory, and it's just an absolutely amazing film. I love it.
Yeah, I
don't think there's any regret. Yes, same artwork.
It's on my pile here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap it out for something else when we get to it, so that we're not repeating ourselves. But that is one of my favorite horror films of all time. And I remember seeing it on Vesta on VHS back in the well, when it first came out. I didn't see it at the cinema, obviously, but seeing it on Vestron when it came out, and absolutely adored it. It was kind of awkward because it was one of those movies where I was always mindful when I was a kid of movies that had kind of not so much violence, but language and nudity.
It's the gore in this. The first time I saw this was the Vestron video, and it knocked me sick.
Yeah,
it was the bit where Tarman comes out, brains, bites the head, and then you see the legs going out like that. Used to knock me sick. It was the same with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre when you're seeing Leatherface like whack him in the head and the legs start convulsing. That used to knock me ill.
Yeah.
But now I just absolutely love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's great fun. And it also, I think it's a 3-discer, isn't it? I've got it right here.
It is, yeah.
It's a 3-discer, and it also has the work print on here.
Got the work print on, yeah.
I tried to watch it. I kind of skipped through it. There is more to it.
It's really shitty VHS quality, isn't it?
The quality's appalling, but it's a nice thing to have. But yeah, the quality is really poor. There's a lot of different content in there.
I'm holding that on because it's like the middle's a bit dodgy, but that's the 4K disc.
There you go.
And then you get the Blu-ray of the film, and then you get a Blu-ray of special features as well. It's a nice little set, actually.
Yeah. Oh, it is. I have a steelbook of it down there as well somewhere. Let me see if I can grab it.
I've got the Second Sight Blu-ray steelbook, and apparently that's it. People still want that. It's very, very collectible.
Is it really?
And it can go for a canny bit, yeah.
This is the MGM one.
I'm sure it's Second Sight if you look.
Oh, it is Second Sight. You're right.
Okay.
Okay. So the only failing of this is that I don't think it has that documentary. There's like a 2-hour documentary on the movie that they made, which is on this. And it's not included, as far as I remember, on the Shout Factory one, but it is on that.
I don't think it is.
More Brains. A return to the Living Dead, the definitive 2-hour documentary. They actually released it on its own on a DVD.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure though that documentary, No Brains, it was even an extra on the DVD. I'm sure it was.
Could have been, yeah.
Is it on the Scream Factory Blu-ray? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but certainly not on this one, which is a shame given that this is 3 discs as well. I think I
never looked for it, but I can't believe that's not on. How weird.
Yeah. What a shame.
The good thing about this is though, like,
oh, it is. Hang on a minute. It is. It's on disc 3.
It's More Brains. It is.
Yeah. It is. My mistake.
Thought that was weird. Blinds are back. Both got gigs on. Look. But the transfer on this is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
I thought this is going to be grainy as hell with 85. It's not the most, but it looks fantastic.
It does. Yeah. They've done a really good job on it. They've done a really good job with it. And it's a shame though, because my sound system is Sonos, and Sonos is just Atmos, which is great for streaming because everything on streaming is Atmos. But on Blu-ray, majority of Blu-rays and 4Ks are DTS. But Shout Factory have started doing Atmos mixes now on their recent 4Ks and stuff. So that's a promising sign. But my number 8 is, I don't know if you've seen this.
The Sword and the Sorcerer? No. But I did see the 101 films version. Like, it's in the sale at the minute from 30-odd quid to $17.99, and I didn't have the money to get it.
Yeah.
And the only reason I want to see it is because of how much I enjoyed the Beastmaster. That's it.
So in terms of all those kind of like, fantasy epics that came out in the early 80s, even Conan I didn't really warm to until years later. The Sword and the Sorcerer was always number 1 for me. It's the makeup in this film is incredible. Like the gore in it is fantastic. It has some amazing moments of really, like, people getting their tongues cut out, people getting their heads split in two. There's a whole scene where one of the main characters is the sorcerer, but you don't know it until the end, and he pulls all the skin off his head and face and births himself through the body and everything. The makeup in it is fantastic. It's a really, really cool little action adventure film. And just at that point when I was getting into horror and video nasties, this thing came along, and it was just, I wasn't normally into that swords and sandals type thing, you know, but it really did catch my attention, and it's a great movie. And again, this is, they've done such a great job on it. This, you know, there's commentaries, making ofs, special effects, documentaries. It's really cool. It's got an excellent score as well. It's almost tonally, it almost feels like a bit of a Raiders of the Lost Ark film. It's that kind of tonal level. Do you know what I mean? It's tongues in its cheek throughout, but the violence is really full on. It's good fun. You should check it out. This box set is well worth a go. Definitely.
Have you seen the Beastmaster?
Yes.
Is it anything like that?
It is kind of like, in terms of, you know, the I guess the setting and the overall feel of it.
Yeah, but because I love that film and I shouldn't, but I did.
Yeah, but it's full on 18 rated stuff on top of that.
Wow.
So yeah, definitely go for it. If you get the chance to buy that, go for it.
By the time I get the money for that, it'll have gone back up to full whack again. But I'll get one of them, either that or the Scream Factory one at some point.
Well, I saw this morning that HMV had done a 50% off sale on a lot of Blu-rays, and
that's what it's in.
The one that I wanted was the 101 Slumber Party Massacre double box set, and it was going for 20 quid, and it sold out by the time I clicked on it. Yeah. Anyway, never mind. Your number 7, sir.
I love this film, and also again the transfer on this. I'm pretty sure somebody did a comparison, and this pipped Arrow to the post. Carrie.
Yeah.
What a film this is. This and Dressed to Kill are my top 2 Brian De Palma films. I've always loved this, always.
Yeah.
But the colours in this and the sharpness is unbelievable. It looks excellent. I've never read the book.
No.
I don't think I even really need. Again, I don't need to really go into it because I think everybody knows what Carrie's about. I think everybody's seen it.
So I missed out on the Arrow version, right? You said that one beats it.
I didn't get it because I was like, do I get the Arrow or the Scream Factory? And then somebody on YouTube did a video comparison.
Okay.
And he was showing screenshots, and I was going like, that one looks better, and that one. And then it'd come up, yeah, it was the Scream Factory. And he had a look, he said, there's not much in it. He said, but technically, he said, the Scream Factory one just pips it to the post. So I thought, right, I'm having that. And another reason I wanted this is because that's the original artwork. Although the Arrow one is a deluxe box set, I've got the exact same box set Blu-ray with the same artwork. So I thought, I didn't want to buy the same thing again, with the only difference being the disc.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have this on Blu-ray as well, but this, I love that artwork. I love it.
Yeah. I always remember in the video stores in the 80s, they the cover on had her with all the, was it the Warner cover had her with all the blood all over her face and
that
everything.
one,
yeah.
Before Warner, this was on Intervision.
Was it really? Maybe it was the Intervision cover then.
I think Intervision had the 2 images like that, but it had like a sort of a beigey brown background. I think Carrie was in yellow.
Okay.
And then years later, Warner Brothers released it. Carrie was in red, and they just used, I think it was like either that image or it was one of her when she got back to the house.
It's the one from the back at the house, because it's horrible.
That's the Warner Brothers one, the Intervision one had that.
Yeah.
And it was like just a cardboard slip VHS cover.
Yeah.
That was the one I originally saw.
So does that one have an Atmos mix on it? Because I'm thinking about buying that at the moment. So if I don't go for the Arrow version, I would go for that.
Dolby Vision, DTS HD, Master Audio.
No, it doesn't sound like
Oh,
it
here we
does.
go. Just go on 4K, Ultra, HDR, DTS, and Mono.
Okay.
No, it doesn't say Dolby Atmos. At the minute, I don't have to worry about that. We've just got a sound bar, and that's it. So I don't benefit from that. Unfortunately, you flash git.
So okay, but picture-wise, that one wins out.
Yeah, it's a mid G's, but yeah. But John Travolta makes this film for me. He's so funny in it.
Yeah, no, it's a great, and William Catt as well. It's good to see him in there with that big old curly barnet. Yeah,
with his long Leo Sayer hairdo.
Yeah. Just having a look at the chat. Brandon says it's not my favorite King adaptation, but I like it a lot. De Palma is hit or miss with me, but he had an amazing run, pretty much in tandem with Carpenter's. He did. He had a great run.
I think De Palma can be hit and miss. Like people kept telling me, you need to watch Body Double.
Yeah,
Body Double. What a amazing! I thought it was a lot of shit.
I actually like Body Double. I was
like, what the hell is this actually all about? I thought it was stupid.
It's his take on Rear Window, isn't it? And it has halfway through Frankie Goes to Hollywood piece. Do you remember the relax videos halfway through the film?
I felt like blowing it out my Rear Window. It was what a lot of cash. I love Blowout though. I've never owned Blowout, but once it was on the telly and I recorded it and I used to watch it regularly. I need to get that. I'd love that film.
Yeah, Blowout's good fun. Blowout's one of those movies, and I was talking about this the other day. So I recently bought those FX Murder by Illusion, the box set that came out with, I think it was Arrow released it, and that, those movies were almost like a peek behind the curtain into sort of special effects back in the 80s, and we never got to see how we didn't really get making ofs and things like that back in the 80s. They were very rare. You would get the big movies like a Bond movie you would get, or a Superman film or something, or Star Wars, but smaller movies you would never find out. You'd never get that peek behind the curtain. And FX, the Brian Brown films, Murder by Illusion, they gave you that peek behind the curtain, and that's exactly what Blowout does. You find out exactly how sound mixing and editing works, and it's great for that. Again,
I've never seen any of those FX films. I've never fancied them.
Oh, they're great. They're really, really cool. It's about,
I think it was our actor, that Brian, what do they call him?
Well, there's the two of them. There's Brian Dennehy and Brian Brown that are in it.
It's Brian Brown. I never liked him.
Yeah. Well, he plays a special effects artist who gets hired to fake a mafia hit. And then it all goes wrong and the tables are turned and he's on the run then, trying to, but he does it with squibs and all that kind of thing. And it shows you the process, which we never got to see back then. But it's well worth a watch. I think you'd enjoy it. It's a great old, both of the two films are great old, 80s capers, if you like. Rick M says FX is a masterpiece. They're very, they're very watchable.
When you look at an actor, you just think straight away, like, oh, you're a twat. Well, that's what I thought of him when I seen him. I just didn't like the look of him. And is he New Zealand or Australian accent?
I think he's Australian, yeah.
Yeah, it went with his smug-looking face, and I just don't like. I've never seen a film with him. I've just seen clips. I was like, oh, I don't like you.
He was in
FX, so he's in it. No, I'll pass, thanks. I'm a weirdo. I really am a weirdo.
Dave Vanderhoff says, just subscribe to Nigel's channel. Thank you, Dave.
Oh, thank you very much. Good. I do appreciate that. Thank you.
It's very good. Paul Rose says, Blowout is great. Always loved that film. And then follows up with,
agree.
What happened to Brian Brown? Actually, last year, I think it was, he was in a movie, Anyone But You.
Still acting, is he?
He's still acting. I would say he's in his mid to late 70s now or something like that.
Judging by how he looked in the 80s, I thought he'd have been in his mid 200 nods by now. He looked old then. Oh, he had a rough paper round. Oh. Well, what is your number 7?
So my number 7 is, one second, because I have some notes about this.
You just like keeping us all waiting and hanging on.
Are you in a rush?
No, I'm just intrigued to know what you've got.
Alligator.
Oh, great. I've got that.
You got that as well?
Yeah. It's not in my top 10, though, by far, no.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it, though.
Yeah. One of the better Jaws knockoffs. Tongue firmly in its cheek throughout. Robert Forster, Lewis Teague. Was it Lewis Teague who directed it? It was Lewis Teague. Yeah, came out in July 1980. And,
Wow.
oh, the disc just fell out. 1 second. It has reversible artwork. It doesn't have the... Do you remember the UK artwork for this? Which was almost like...
A cartoon-looking crocodile smiling.
Yeah, it's almost like... it would be an alligator, I think.
It's like that as well. Like the portrait, it looked like a bloody comedy, I think.
Well, do you know what I think it is? You know what I think they were going for? Do you remember? I remember my dad took me to see Airplane in the cinema when it first came out. And do you remember the artwork for Airplane, which was an airplane tied in a knot?
Yeah,
it's that's the look that they'd gone for, I think, with Alligator. I think.
How strange, because it's not even like a funny film. It's quite brutal, perhaps.
Oh, I think it is funny. I think yeah. I think there's some really funny moments in it.
I've only watched it once since I got it, though I can't remember.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like
again, that original VHS, I'm sure it was Intervision again.
It was Intervision. You're right. It was Intervision. But yeah, there's like, Nick says Alligator is fun. There's some great moments in there of comedy. There's that bit when the alligator, he's bending over in the sewer, he's doing something, and you're the POV of the alligator creeping up behind him, but it's his mate. He just pinches him on the arse.
I don't even remember that bit. I am due a watch of it again. I am.
Paul says, yeah, they were trying to sell it as a comedy. They pretty much were, I'm sure. And Brandon says, I love Alligator. Robert Forster was such an underrated actor. I'm glad he had a late career resurgence. Yeah, didn't he? Because I think, was it Tarantino that used him in a few things? Jackie Brown, that's right. That's right. He was also, I don't know if you've seen this film, it's one of my guilty pleasures from the 80s. He was also the main terrorist in the Delta Force. The Chuck Norris film. The only problem
being a terrorist.
Well, he played like a Middle Eastern terrorist and browned up for it, which was, a bit awkward. Okay, moving on. What's your number before you go off on a rant? What's
what's your number? 10 and 8. Number 6.
Is it number 6 or 7? 7, 6? Where are we? 6. Okay, number 6.
No, this is the ultimate Jaws ripoff, and this we're back to Roger Corman. Piranha.
Damn it! That was my.
Is that yours?
One.
Same ranking as well.
Next one. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to swap that
out. I first saw this on the big box rental tape. With the UK artwork, which is far superior to that, which is that one.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I've hunted for years to try and get this on VHS, and I've seen it go for £5, £10 and that, and it's like, I thought, oh yeah, I'll get it later. It's got to be the big box one. It goes for daft money now. I waited and waited. It's my own fault.
Yeah.
But I do have, and it's the only one I've ever seen. I need to find where it is, though, because I'm pretty sure it's like rocking horse shit. I do have the original video rental poster for it.
Okay.
With that artwork on.
Yeah.
Now, when I was going in video shops, I never ever saw a poster, and I found it on eBay. I just typed it in, and I was like, there it is, and I got it dead cheap. I did have it framed at one point. I've had it years now, but yeah. The original Warner Home Video rental poster. I've got it for Piranha. The first time I was aware of this, I think it was 1977. It came out in 78. But the first time I ever went to the cinema, my mum's friend took me and her kids to see, I think it was Peter Pan. And then next thing went was 101 Dalmatians. And you used to get the posters inside the cinema, they're coming soon. and there was this dirty, great big UK quad poster of that.
Yeah.
And I was like, look at that. And it took me right until 1983 before I actually finally got to see it. And I absolutely loved it. I used to watch this as much as I watched Jaws, to the point where like I knew what was coming in the script.
Oh, I
love it that much.
I'm the same.
I got ridiculed for liking this when it first came out on video because people said it was crap. Now it's got a massive following.
Yeah, it's great. And you know,
Love
again, Rob Bottin, who we talked about earlier, Blake from The Fog, and did all the Thing makeup and Humanoids from the Deep. He did the.
How weird! I only watched The Fog this morning. How weird!
So did I. What the
no
fuck?
way! This morning.
I did. Yes, I did. I watched Humanoids from the Deep and The Fog this morning. Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
So Rob Bottin was probably around about 18 when he was the effects guy on this film. And what I love about it is the piranha attacks, they really do look painful under the water when they're gnawing away at people and everything.
Yeah.
It's brutal in parts. But the really nice story about this film is that it was coming out around the same time as Jaws 2. And
yes. Same,
Universal tried to get this movie cancelled. They tried to get block it from being released, because it was clearly a Jaws knockoff, right down to the artwork and all that kind of thing. And Spielberg requested to see it before it came out. And he saw it and absolutely loved it. And so what happened then was he spoke to Universal and said, look, you know, this is not a threat to Jaws or anything like that. It's a great little film. And they backed off. Their lawyers backed off, and the movie was allowed to be released. But from that, he sparked a relationship with Joe Dante. And then what happens a few years later? He gets him to direct Gremlins. Yeah. So it was all kind of like a happy ending for everyone. But I agree with you. It's such a great movie. It really is. Bradford
you
Dillman.
Wouldn't think, would you, that this and Gremlins was the same director, and The Howling, all the same director? It is absolutely bizarre.
Yeah.
But there's a bit in this. I still laugh to this day. I piss myself, and it's the bit where they're all going on this boat, and you know that is it Colonel?
Yes,
the Colonel with a hat. Yeah. He's going on the boat, and she says something about this big fat woman, General so and so. It's Colonel, ma'am. It's Colonel. I can't imagine why. And he walks off. And as he's walking in front of me, he goes, "Stupid cow." And I am absolutely pissing myself every time that bit comes on. I say it myself. I find myself going, stupid cow. The way he says, cow. So if you haven't seen this, you are missing out big time.
It is great fun. And the score as well, which I recently got on CD. I think I showed you that the last time we were on.
I've got the original vinyl release of that.
Yeah. Pino Donaggio's music.
Yeah. The composer who sounds like a nice bottle of wine.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
What's
the wine I wear to? Well, we have this beautiful Pino Donaggio. Yeah.
He did Carrie, didn't he? He did Carrie. He did Dress to Kill as well.
Dress to Kill. He did Don't Look Now.
Yeah.
What's that other one I'm trying to think of? Tourist Trap.
Did he do Tourist Trap? Wow, I didn't realize that.
All of which the one I've just mentioned there, I do have. Most of them are on Waxwork Records, but I've got them all. He's actually probably my favourite film composer, or one of them.
Yeah.
So John Williams takes unbeaten, but he's definitely up there. He's definitely top 3.
Good stuff. Scott's had to go, so we say goodbye to Scott. Can't stay, unfortunately. Wanted to stop by and show my support. Hope you have a fantastic stream, guys. Great topic. Thank you,
He'll probably watch it later on, though.
Yeah. Okay, where are we now? Is it me or you?
It's you. You're giving your number 10, 9, 8, 7. You're number 6.
Yeah, I just threw out Piranha and swapped it for a movie that I watched last weekend and did a little video about because its 30th anniversary is next week.
Wow.
John Carpenter's Village of the Damned.
Another one I've never seen.
It's worth a look.
I've seen the original I've got the original black and white and the sequel Children of the Damned.
Well, there's actually a TV show on at the moment, which is a British remake of it. I mean, it was a British movie in the first place, but there's a TV show that's just come out at the moment that's on television, which is a remake of this with Keely Hawes. Yeah, which I'm going to try and watch. But I saw this around the time it first came out and was sort of a bit, I guess, immature about it and stubborn and just said, oh, it's John Carpenter off the boil again. It's not very good and all that kind of stuff. And I watched it. I bought this because they'd done a really nice 4K restoration of it. They also put a documentary on here about Peter Jason, who was the one of Carpenter's main actors that had been in a lot of his movies from sort of They Live onwards. And so I fancied watching it, and I watched it, and actually the film is not bad at all. It's got a great score.
I've actually heard good stuff about it.
Yeah. It's got a great kind of small town vibe, very similar to The Fog, a very similar kind of setting to The Fog as well. And you know the premise about this cloud that comes over the town, and all 10 women all become pregnant all at once and all have their babies on the same day. And the government says you can either get rid of the babies or we'll pay you £3,000 a month to keep them. However, you have to let us study your children. And there's all things like a kind of, I guess, alien entity that's poised to sort of take over the world. And Christopher Reeve is the one that has to stop them. So it's really emotional as well because it's his kind of last film before he had his accident.
I didn't know Christopher Reeve was in it.
Yeah, it's Christopher Reeve and Mark Hamill are in it. Kirstie Alley and do you remember Linda Kozlowski? Crocodile Dundee, his missus.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that was her name though.
Yeah, she's in it as well. And the score's really good. You know, John Carpenter's score's really good in it.
Yeah,
which he did with Dave Davis from the Kinks. And yeah, it's yeah. So a lot of his stuff, you know, the stuff he does now. I don't know if you listen to any of his music now.
I listen to like the stuff he does on Lost Themes, like when he goes on tour. I've heard quite a bit of it.
So that's him and his son,
and his son's mate,
who is Dave Davis's son.
Bloody hell! I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. So the three of them are now, you know, a band, if you like. But yeah, I wouldn't say highly recommended, but I would say give this another chance because it's not as bad as you might remember or think it is.
Have you seen the original, the black and white one?
I have, a long time ago.
I think that one's set over here, so there's a big difference there. Yeah, and I don't think it mentions about getting rid of the baby. You know, it doesn't go into that. I think it just something passes over. Yeah. And like these kids are just weird. I can't remember whether they were pregnant at the time. I can't remember. It's been that long since I've seen it. But it's quite eerie, the black and white one.
Yeah, I mean the kids. There's one scene in this that really upsets me. There's one kid who forces her mum to put her hand in a boiling pan of water, and she slams it in and pulls it out, and then the kid forces her to slam it back in again, and it's like a repeated thing that happens. It's horrible. There's the nasty little shits in this film. Honestly, there's some real.
Oh, you don't get none of that in the black and white one.
No. It's worth a watch for sure. It's worth a watch.
I am intrigued. I would like to see it.
Yeah. Okay, what you got next, sir?
So that's 10, 9, 8. So we're up to number 5. This is one of my favourite films, and I've picked the Blu-ray over the 4K, which I do have as well, because the packaging on this is unbelievable. I love this film. Creepshow.
Damn it.
You've done that and all, haven't you? I do have the 4K. But this, it's like a proper Vinegar Syndrome-esque hard box. And like Scream Factory just don't do them. The only thing is you can't get the bloody thing out. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the 4K, you just get that.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think, has this got reversible? Yes, it does. It's got the...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, they never ever use the UK quad poster artwork, which for me is better than a lot of them. It's like, it's where the creep is like leaning over the gravestone and pointing down to the word Creep Show. That's my favourite artwork. And you get this like amazing booklet in it as well. Has it got some sort of a comic-y thing in this? No, it's all the artwork. It's Creep Show 2. I think you get like a comic thing in. But this is like the only one I know of, apart from like JFK, which I don't have. And I would like to... I've never ever seen that. But as for a horror film, this is the only like sort of deluxe thing like that for just a single film. And this is one of those films I can just watch anytime. Five stories.
Yeah.
Does it have what?
I was going to say, does it have just desserts on it? Which is the
I think it does, you know. Hang on.
Because the 4K, I don't think does. And that's the reason why I'm keeping my...
I don't think it is on here. It doesn't say. But
no, that's the documentary on the Blu-ray that came out over here.
I do have the second sight Blu-ray, and it is on that.
Yeah.
This is another film I can geek out with as well.
Oh.
I've got this set of this. It's not that big, and it's like the American VHS cover, but inside's a T-shirt.
Oh right, okay.
It's a Fright Rags one. I've never worn it. I've got one for Trick or Treat as well. The with little Sam in. But yeah, I've also got, actually, I don't know where it is. It'll be with the bloody piranha thing. I do have an original 1982 UK quad poster for it as well.
Wow, I have the original one sheet behind me.
Mine's got the AA on before it was 15 right. And all. Yeah,
that's the American one that somebody very kindly bought me for my 50th and framed it.
I'm going to have a look to see if that artwork is actually in here somewhere, because it's a shame if it isn't, just to show you.
Okay. Is it the one with the creeper and the gravestone?
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. I love it. I was over the moon when I got the poster because I didn't pay a lot for it. I got it off eBay years and years ago. But now they go for silly money. I think there must have been a point where nobody really cared about the cinema posters. I think there's always been collectors, but I don't know. I mean, they won't put that in, but they'll put that crap in. I think that's the French one, if I remember rightly. Oh, it is there. There we go. That's it.
The old Intervision release, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you look, I think
it's really cool. That's how I remember Creepshow.
AA.
There you go. Yeah.
But I do have an original one. And look at that moon and that sky. I love it.
Why was it a AA? Surely it should have been an X. Was it the humor that kind of softened it? Because it terrified me as a kid.
Yeah. I saw this when I was 15. And it was, thinking about it, I thought, God, that was never then. I thought I'd seen the poster outside the cinema years ago. But it came out in 82. We got our first VHS recorder in 83.
Yeah.
And when I rented it out, it scared the shit out of me. I was jumping out of my skin left, right, and centre. That is horrific, that scene.
Yeah. So is Ed Harris's dancing.
When he does that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
No, what the hell?
Yeah, we use that music as our sign off on the Slaughtered Lamb Movie podcast.
The Creep Show.
Yeah, the Don't Let Go music.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
It's awful, that song.
No, I know it is, and it's part of that. You know, Dawn of the Dead used a lot of library music. I think they called it
Yeah.
DeWolf library music.
Yeah.
It's part of, it's that stuff that Romero was using. He used it in Creepshow as well. Their kind of library music.
Yes, he did.
And so Don't Let Go, that song is from that.
Because all that like incidental music, that library stuff, isn't on the Creepshow soundtrack, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Up to now, and I hope they don't do any more.
In fact, I have
every single. Go on.
One sec before you do that. I have our outro here right now.
Don't let go, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go.
There you go.
How bad is that?
It's terrible. Sorry.
I've got every coloured variant that Waxwork bloody records have released.
I remember watching your video when you unboxed them all. How many was it in total?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm sure there's another one somewhere. There's either 10 or 11. And I've got the original Varice Sarabande one as well from 1982.
So you've got 11 copies of the same vinyl. Each one's slightly different color. Because I remember when you were reviewing them, some of them are just only slightly different in color, aren't they?
Yeah, bastards. The first green one that come out, they did when it first come out, they released 5, and there was one color for each story. So there was one for Father's Day, which was the white with the red splatter. That was the blood on the icing cake, whatever it was.
Yeah.
They did a blue one for something to tide you over.
Yes.
But for the Geordie Verrill one, they did it was like a dark green, and they called it Meteor Shit Green. But then a few years later, they did another green variant, which was related to Geordie Verrill again. It was a different shade, though, but I had to have it because it was different.
I remember the unboxing of them all. It went on for about an hour, and I was like, well, it's just the same as the last one.
It's got about 2 views, I think. I don't think anybody cared. And I thought, everybody will want to see this. No, they didn't. I do have their rarest record as well. I've got that Blood-Filled Friday the 13th.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes, I remember you showing me. Yeah. Thanks, Brandon. Brandon's just put the link to your channel in the chat there for people to go and
thank you very much, Ben. I appreciate that. How nice are people?
Yeah, of course. Right. Me or
so
you?
Your number 5.
My number 5 is a movie that was like a horror Bible to me as a kid. I think this came out in 1984, and it's called Terror in the Isles.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's great.
I'm dying to.
Oh, it's fantastic.
You've seen it. Just send me that. I'll have that one.
Well, I tell you what, you might have it, but not know you've got it.
I know it's clips.
It's kind of like it's hosted by Donald Pleasance. And Nancy Loomis, and it just talks about horror through the ages, and it's all put together like huge trailers of all movies that you're familiar with and some you're not familiar with. But as a kid, there were certain films that I wasn't familiar with, like at the time, probably things like The Exorcist, because it wasn't available to us. In the early 80s, it was taken off the shelves. Texas Chainsaw Massacre I heard about from this. It leans heavily into Jaws, Halloween. It also introduced me to films like Nighthawks. Do you remember Nighthawks with Stallone and Billy D. Williams?
I've never seen it, but I know the cover with Stallone and isn't Rutger Hauer in that?
And Rutger Hauer plays the terrorist. Yeah, it's a great film. Really, really cool film. But if you ever bought Halloween 2, this version...
No, I didn't.
Okay, so this version... This
Has
film
it on?
Is an extra on this version of Halloween 2. So it's a lot of people own this movie without realizing that they have it.
Bloody hell.
But yeah.
I will track that Scream Factory one down one of these days, though. Oh, Jaws 2?
It's got Jaws 2, Halloween 2, and the film
Halloween 2?
And it's great for Donald Pleasance's kind of, he's in it. The whole film's kind of set in a movie theater. He's talking to the camera in a movie theater, and and then you see all the clips that he talks about and everything.
I must have seen a trailer because I do remember him walking down one of the aisles or sat in a seat in a cinema.
Right. Yeah. That'll be it. But yeah, it's well worth a watch, and taught me a lot about horror as a kind of 11, 12-year-old kid. When it first came out, and was a reference point for a lot of movies that I'd never seen before. So yeah, definitely worth the investment if you find it anywhere.
That sounds like your horror equivalent to that Video Nasty one I've got. Have you seen them? Video Nasty is the definitive guide.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, I have them both. Yeah.
If you are collecting or interested in the Video Nasties, I always say to people, those two sets are your Bible.
Yeah.
Refer to them for anything. You'll find out anything you want to know. That's them.
Those two
they are,
there.
especially the first one.
Yeah.
Because the other one with the orange background, that's called the Draconian Days. That's just section 3, I believe. The other one is section 1 and 2. But my God, you pick up so much information from them, and you get a great documentary on both of them as well.
And then there was, about 20 years ago, there was a series of different documentaries. So there was that one, which was Going to Pieces, which was about slasher films. That's worth
now, I've got that as a bonus disc in the DVD version of Last House on the Left.
Yes, that's right.
I think I showed you it on the Video Nasty one with like the cream-coloured box.
Yeah,
that's in
the
there.
one. Yeah. There was also The American Nightmare as well, which has John Carpenter, Wes Craven, Cronenberg, Romero, and Tobe Hooper on it.
Oh, I've not seen that one.
That one talks about how coming out of Vietnam and things like that, how the political and social background of America influenced all the horror movies and that. And then another one, which is Nightmares in Red, White, and Blue, which is about American horror and slashers and all that kind of stuff.
Never even heard of that.
Yeah. Oh, there's some good stuff out there if you
wow.
Yeah, definitely.
I do love like documentaries on the stuff like that as well. Like, must admit, I do enjoy them.
Oh, love it. And even like we were talking Last House on the Left, as some of the making of documentaries, like there's a full-length, feature-length making of Last House on the Left on that Blu-ray, is really well done. Getting to know about all the there you go. Terror in the Isles is on YouTube. You can watch it there.
Oh, excellent. I shall do that very thing.
Yeah. So lots of cool documentaries and stuff. Your next one, so where are we up to now? We're 5.
We're up to number 4.
4, okay.
Speaking of which, the lad who I said I found after 40 odd years, I've just had a message pop up from him.
Oh, okay.
Right,
I'm
this one.
Having a drink out of my Tom Atkins glass there.
Oh, wow. It's a Halloween 3 one as well.
I got this in the Buccaneer. When I went to Halloween 45, the convention, and as part of the convention, they took you to the bar from Halloween 3, which has also been used in other films. And we had drinks with Atkins in there. And one of the gifts that they give you on the way out was your glass with him on the glass.
Why don't you go and piss off? You're not sick.
Yeah, there's that. Bill's just mentioning that. I picked that up there as well, which is the Halloween 3 Atkins figure as well. So that was exclusive to the convention.
Oh my God.
It was fun. Anyway, continuing.
Number 4 is my favourite section 1 Video Nasty. The Burning.
I can't believe that. My number 4 is
This is bizarre. This is bizarre. A lot of people like this way better than Friday the 13th. I don't, because I've just got such a love for Friday the 13th, the original. But my God, the gore in this is absolutely. This is for me is some of, if not Savini's best work. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it. I did have a German DVD of it, but I've given it away. But I did steal the inlay out of it because it's got the original Video Nasty artwork on it, and I wanted to keep that.
Ooh. That's
So
a great old shot,
if you were
isn't it?
looking at that in a video shop in the UK, that's the bad boy you were looking for.
Yeah, yeah. Which is I can't actually, every time I watch the burning, I mean, when Cropsy's burning, he's moving around so fast. I don't know how they managed to grab that shot of him like that, because I feel like it doesn't appear in the film, that shot. I wonder if it was a publicity shot or something.
I think it was, because the last I watched this not so long ago, and I was looking for it. I was thinking, right, I wonder where I can pause it. All I'm assuming is while they were filming, or it could have been taken from a take that they didn't use.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's been a photographer there and gone and got it.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's iconic, that to me, because that was on the video cover. Like, I think in America at the time they probably hadn't even seen that.
Probably not. No. I wonder if my Steelbook has that artwork inside it at all.
I've got the Shout Factory Blu-ray this as well, but the artwork on the slipcover is awful.
No, it doesn't look like it does. You have this little.
Isn't that awful? That?
Yeah, it's not great, is it? That's the artwork on the Steelbook. The Steelbook's quite nice. I really do like Steelbooks. A friend of mine hates them and wishes they'd stop them, but I actually really like them. Like
I must admit, I'm not overly fond. They get damaged too easy.
Nosferatu Steelbook is beautiful. It looks fantastic.
If it was a choice between that with the slip and a Steelbook, I'd go with that every day, all day long.
Yeah, that would be good if they put a slip over a Steelbook, wouldn't it? You kind of get that.
They do sometimes, it's not very often.
Yeah, yeah.
But then you get, like, which I find really bizarre, when I bought Fright Night, when that got a 4K release, Steelbook only. They never released.
Yeah, yeah.
A normal one with the slip, and they still haven't yet. Weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is very kind of Friday the 13th Part 2-ish. Right down to the storytelling on the campfire and the bloke dressed up and all that lot. But the gore in this is, compared to them Friday films, is next level.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen this and you like slashers, you are missing out. The title used to put me off, The Burning, because I thought that sounds like, like a disaster film.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it really isn't. It's horrific.
It is, like you say, some of Savini's best work. I think that, or the Prowler. I think there's some great stuff in the Prowler. The one with the bayonet through the top of the head is just,
that is amazing. Yeah,
awesome.
And it's when the eyes go white as well. I'm like, oh. Somebody said to me the other day, he's another YouTuber, and he sent me a couple of photos. Said, "I'm getting rid of these. Do you want any of them before I take them to the charity shop?" And the Blue Underground Prowler was there.
Really?
But I've already got it. I wasn't just going to say, "Oh, I'll have it for the sake of it." I've already got it.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, what a film that is!" He went, "It bored me." Bored you?
Really? I love the Prowler.
I do.
I think it's great.
I mean, it's not the fastest moving, but the gore it's well worth the wait.
Yeah, and the comeuppance at the end is.
But I don't think it's boring. It's just not as fast paced as others. But I think it's a fantastic film. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. Both of them, Burning and the Prowler, are terrific films.
And again, another one that was on the Nasties list. If you hear, and this is exactly what it did with me. The title put me off, and that's why I never watched it in the Video Nasty days. It was called Rosemary's Killer.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Why they changed
the Prowler? How much better does that sound?
Yeah, I think they've changed it back now, haven't they?
I don't think it's has it actually got a release over here.
I think I'm pretty sure that since the VHS, I'm pretty sure it has come out on either a VHS or
a DVD.
Or a DVD, I think, under the name The Prowler. I'm pretty sure it has. I don't have it. I'm waiting for them to do something in 4K on it, but it seems to be taking a while.
I'm hoping Blue Underground do it, because they've done all the others. Like they've done their Zombie.
Yeah.
or zombie flesh eaters, as people call it. They've done Maniac.
Yeah.
They've done loads. It's about
Yeah.
time they got that done.
Yeah. There's a Blue Underground title that's just been released that I'm eyeing up at the moment. Venom.
I've got that on Blu-ray, like 2 or 3 disc set, and I've never seen it.
You mean
I actually enjoyed it. It's not what I thought it was going to be. It was going to be so dull, but no, I really enjoyed it. Susan George.
Yeah, and Oliver Reed and Klaus Kinski. It's with the snake on the loose in the house. It's terrific.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can have Klaus Kinski, and I'll just stick with Susan George. She was a dirty girl. You can tell by looking, can't you?
Okay.
This is why Simon McCorkindale went early, because she wore him out.
So your number, where are we now? So both of us had The Burning for our number 3, was it? 4.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're keeping count. What's your number 3?
This is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, 4K transfer I've seen. This is absolutely beautiful. And since this come out fully uncut, it's one of my favourite films. I absolutely love this film, My Bloody Valentine. Piss off, you have not.
That was my third.
Is that your number 3 as well?
It is. It is.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, what a film this is. Have you watched it yet?
Yes. Oh God, yeah. I have 2 versions of it actually, both by Shout Factory. One,
the Blu-ray one as well.
The Blu-ray when they first restored all the footage that was missing for years, and then this one, which
the Blu-ray you can still see it slightly, but they did such a good job. But it's now seamless.
Yeah.
And my God, it's like watching. I've always loved this film, even when it was just the R-rated version. But when the gore was put back in again, I was like, oh my God! If that had been released in the 80s, that would have been on the list with The Burning, I reckon.
Yeah.
It is brutal, but what a film! Absolutely amazing. I love it. It's usually like that first kill in the mine at the beginning, and you think, "Oh, this is going to be like Dead Danger." And you see outside, and it's all cold because it's all in Canada. Have you seen when it goes to the town and you see all the red heart decorations?
Yeah.
I nearly had to put some sunglasses on. The red in that film is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
For a little independent film, I know Paramount released it, but little low budget thing, it looks absolutely amazing. And what a film! I love it.
In terms of red piercing like that, I think the only other one I can think of is the 4K of Suspiria. The reds on that are just insane.
I noticed it more on this though. Funny enough,
yeah.
Don't know, just something about it. But what a film it is! I love it. I'll never get sick of that. I watched that about 2-3 weeks ago again.
Oh, it's terrific.
Amazing.
Rando in the chat saying you guys really should have compared lists before you started. Well, we did actually talk about that and then said no, because we weren't going to rank them at first. We were just going to do 10, and then Nigel said let's rank them. But I'm glad that we're picking the same stuff. And it's not down to the fact that Shout Factory don't have that many titles. They have loads of titles.
They have hundreds.
Yeah. It's just.
I was going to say, I wouldn't have said like you've said. Oh, well, you've had that, so I'll pick another one. I wouldn't have. I think if we picked the same, I would have just left it as that. Well, you did The Burning.
I've actually run out because I picked 4 backup titles to swap out in case.
I must admit, I didn't think we were going to have that many the same.
I've used all my backup titles now. I've got nothing left unless I turn around and get my hands and knees on the floor down here. I can see the Fun House. That's quite a good one.
I nearly picked that as well because that looks beautiful as well.
Yeah, it does. And Land of the Dead, I can see, and
I don't think that's a great film. I think it's too boring.
It's all right. I don't mind it. It's. I felt bad for him because it was his first time going with a studio, and they just bullied him around.
Did they?
Yeah. I mean, not first time going. First time he went to a studio for a zombie film. And they just bullied him around. So yeah, there was a lot of production trouble with that. Really pissed him off, I think.
I also would have got rid of Sean Pegg and the other one as well, 'cause I can't stand the pair of them.
Who? Sorry.
Simon Pegg. I said Sean Pegg.
Oh, yes.
Shaun of the Dead. Sean Pegg in Simon of the Dead. I watched that film once and I hated it.
What, Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah,
I'm not a massive Peg fan, but I don't mind.
No, I don't. There's something about him. I liked him in Hotel Paradiso, Guest House Paradiso, the bottom film.
Yeah.
And then after that, he just
forgot
about
about
him really irritating.
Yeah,
I just don't like him.
It is. He's one of those. I mean, he's one of those Brits that Americans have embraced, and he's in Star Trek and Mission Impossible and all that kind of stuff. Whereas over here, we're just kind of a bit sort of And it's the same with people like Jason Statham, James Corden, Idris Elba, all these people that we're all a bit sort of about have been really embraced in the US, and it's like, keep them.
Yeah, you're welcome, especially James Corden. You can have him.
I think they've kicked him back now, though, haven't they? That's the thing. He's lost his show over there. So
I mean, well, we want them to take him back because we all can't stand him.
And Brandon says, "Yeah, we hate James Corden too."
I've never known anybody say, "Do you know, I really like him."
Anyway, number 2.
You're going to hate me for this because of what I've done.
Should we put these up at the same time?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay,
so number 2 is the Halloween box set.
Oh.
I wasn't picking out individual films. You said releases. That is the release. And usually when people decide to get rid of these, when they get the 4Ks and stuff, the box is usually tatty as hell. It's no good now. You haven't picked it. You can't have it. This has got a bit of dust on the top, but it's only the cellophane. This is like as new. This is why I keep the cellophane on.
Yeah. That's like 11 years old now. You know that?
It never is it?
Yeah. 2014, I think it was.
Oh, my God. I'm looking. I can't see it. It's got all the individual bloody dates on, but not the box set.
Yeah, it was 2014 it came out.
Wow. 11-year-old. I mean, normally as well, when you put it down like that, it scratches all the bottom. Look at that. It's all still intact.
Yeah.
I could get a fortune for this if I wanted, but that's going nowhere.
They do go for quite a lot of money.
Yeah, even when they're tatty, though. But yeah. A company had never done this before when they did this, like not to that extent. You got the original and then including the Rob Zombies, all of them in one box set.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what else I loved when they did this as well, when they used these black cases instead of the blue.
Yes. Yeah.
And all the original artwork as well. Beautiful.
Yeah.
What a lovely set it is. And the picture on these is absolutely phenomenal as well. For saying they're Blu-rays, they just look brilliant.
They do.
One of my prized possessions is that Halloween set.
Yeah. They and like you say, using the original artwork, which I think more people should do a lot of the time. You know, they think that commissioning new artwork is a hook for people. I think it is in some respects, but there's a new Bond box set of Sean Connery's Bond films, which I've pre-ordered. I pre-ordered it before the artwork was released. The artwork that they've come up with is shocking. It's like all sorts of stills of him in his safari suits and all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's not any original artwork whatsoever. And I just think, just put those amazing original Bond movie posters on the front of it and I'll be happy.
You do it all the time with everything.
Yeah.
What was your number 9 I didn't see? The Fog. I've got that. Is that a steelbook?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Very, very, very kind person messaged me. Guy called Steve Cort, and he said to me, Have you got the fog on 4K? I was like, no, but I'm definitely after it. He went, do you want this? Sent me a photo. And I was like, that's the steelbook. He went, yeah. He said, but when you're opening the steelbook's like in half. I thought, I'm not really bothered about steelbooks, but I want the film on 4K. But I still haven't watched it. But the one I watched today, I finally got my hands on those Studio Canal boxes. So that's the one I watched. But I will watch the Scream Factory one to see if there's any difference.
There is, because I bought this because I have the Studio Canal one, but
That's the one I watched this morning.
The Studio Canal doesn't have the Atmos track, and it's not in HDR, whereas the Scream Factory one has a new Atmos. This is the hook. You know, I mean, they obviously can't find any more extras to put on there. So what they did was they did an Atmos mix and a HDR transfer on it as well, and it looked and sounded amazing. It really did.
So that one actually does look better than the Studio Canal one.
Yes, and there's a couple of websites out there that have done comparisons on it, and the HDR does really bolster it. I mean, the regular 4K is still good, but there's just moments like with the fog, like Mrs. Colbritz's house and stuff. You know, it glows a lot more around there. There's numerous parts in the film where it kind of comes out better. But I mean, that 4K Studio Canal one is still terrific. But
I'll tell you what, when I watched that this morning, it's the most I've ever jumped.
Which bit?
Like, all of it. I've said this before. Like, when I watch films, a lot of the time I was on my phone and I've gone, well, that was boring. I will not go on my phone now when I'm watching a film.
Yeah.
So I start and I watch it, and like from that bit when he picks Jamie Lee Curtis up and someone comes through, that got me.
Yeah.
The only bit that didn't, because I remembered about it, was when the bloody body falls on Jamie Lee Curtis when they start talking.
That's a bit mistimed, is that? Because the music kicks in before the body drops out.
Yeah.
It's almost. I tell you what it's like. It's like that explosion in Piranha when the speedboat goes up. It blows up before the speedboat hits it. You know.
Yeah, I think they detonated it just a little bit too early.
They did.
But yeah, I was jumping left, right, and centre. I was like, "Geez, I don't remember there being this many jump scares in this."
Yeah. There is a lot.
I really did enjoy it.
It is. I mean, it's terrific, and I love all those moments with Blake at the end in the church. I just think he looks fantastic with those glowing red eyes and everything. It's just,
and that opening bit when he's telling the story to the kids, and then it shows you out to see just even the titles. It's just eerie as hell.
You know what gets me every time as well is the guy in the store who's he's mopping up, and then he stops and he takes one of the orange juices out of the fridge, unscrews it, has a big swig, puts the lid on, and then puts it back in the fridge.
Somebody's going to pick it up and go, God, there's not that much else. I wonder what happened there.
But no, it is a terrific. I've got God knows how many soundtrack albums of that. They bought so many out over the years. There's a definitive 2-discer at the moment that's out there. But the one thing, do you know? Have you ever seen Sean Clark before on?
Yeah. He does all Horror's Hallowed Grounds.
Yes, yeah. He has the journal.
The one that they're reading in the book, in the film.
He has that in his house.
The stuff that he's got is sickening.
I
don't like the film, but he's got the costumes from the Lost Boys.
Oh God, yeah, he's tons of stuff he's got. But I mean, if you talk to him, it's his. I think the journal from the fog is probably his most prized possession that he has.
Wow.
He did an episode on it as well and opened it up and read a load of stuff out of it. And a lot of it is stuff that they used in the film. But then there's also stuff in there which is written in by people who were on the set at the time and who were at the end of their tether because the shoot was so grueling, apparently. And yeah, they're just slagging people off in there, writing it all down. It's great. It's a great little episode.
How has he got hold of that?
Because he knows Tommy Lee Wallace, who was the one of the I think was he the editor on it as well? I can't remember.
Yeah, but he also played one of the ghosts as well.
He was, yeah. He was the set production designer, sorry. And excuse me, Tommy Lee Wallace had it, I think, and I think he just said to him, "Look, if you ever want to get rid of that," and apparently he just gifted him it in the end. So yeah, he has that journal, which is pretty cool.
God. What a signature there! Yeah, go on, you can have it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff like that. I mean, what's cool about that is there's just only going to be one. That's it.
Yeah,
it's a prop that you know.
And Hal Holbrook's had his mitts on it.
Exactly.
And did Janet Leigh get hold of that as well in the film?
Yes, she does. And Nick Castle.
Because I think she read a bit, so they've both touched that, and he's got it.
And Tom Atkins as well, I think. There's a moment where he grabs it and has a look at it. But that Hal Holbrook.
I wonder if Janet Leigh or Hal Holbrook wrote anything in there.
God knows. I don't know. Hal Holbrook was probably too pissed to write anything in there because he was a bit of a boozer, wasn't he?
Big daft thing in the back. I hate Carpenter.
I tell you what, I mean, with The Fog, though, my favorite line in the film is from Hal Holbrook. And obviously, it's 100 years of Antonio Bay. And there's that moment when he's sat chatting to Janet Leigh.
Yeah.
And he turns around to her and says, "The celebration of our town is a travesty.
We've been supporting murderers," or something. He says,
"We're honouring murderers."
Yeah. Do you know what? I'd never noticed that before. When I watched it this morning, I was like, "Wow."
Yeah, it's a great line. Really, really cool line.
And that's what I'm saying. Even though I've watched it 3 or 4 times over the years, possibly a few more, I've always been doing something and not paying attention. And when he drags that dirty, great big cross out, I was like, I found out today that was the gold that they were going for.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
Well, this
just go to show, keep off your phone when you're watching a film.
Exactly. This bar where I picked up this glass, which is the bar from Halloween 3, just round the corner from there is the church from The Fog.
Yeah.
So we were able to go from that bar and walk up the road and go to the Fog Church, and took photos. It was all open. We went in, took photos in there and everything. And on the way out, we jumped in the car and Frank said to me, "Should we go to the lighthouse?" And I said, "Yeah, why not? Let's go to the lighthouse." And he punched it in the sat-nav. It was 11 hours away.
No way.
Yeah, it's still in California, but the drive was 11 hours up the coast.
And did you go?
No, did we fuck? No.
I was going to say 11 hours.
Yeah, we're going to drive that far. But we did all the sites, all the houses and the sites from Halloween and Halloween 2 and all that kind of stuff, and more things as well. You know, there was.
I'm sure that some of those what do you call it? Locations. I think he's used in other films as well.
Oh yeah. Well, it's around.
I'm probably totally out of it here, but I thought it looked very similar to when when she was driving to the lighthouse. Some of that looks similar when Tom Atkins and Stacey Thingy in Halloween 3 are driving. I thought, I wonder if they've used some of these same roads.
I would imagine that it's all kind of in the same sort of vicinity. I think Brandon in the chat, I think he managed to get. Was it you, Brandon, that managed to get some of the rubble from the Halloween 3 house or a factory or something like that? Would they have been filmed in the same area? Well, what was funny though was
when I found out that they've tore that building down.
It. Yeah. Well, when we were at the we didn't go to the Wallace house, was it? I think it was the Wallace house. But some of the guys that were with us did go, and they were renovating it. They were tearing all sorts of stuff down off it and from inside of it. And they were putting it all in a big skip outside, and people were diving in. I've got photographs of people diving in the skip and pulling out, I don't know, bits of old toilet and wall and cupboards and all sorts of stuff, and taking it away with them
from the Wallace house.
Exactly. Yeah. Brandon says, yeah. He says, I've got 2 bricks from the Silver Shamrock factory.
Oh.
People were going around, you know, giving bits of it away at the convention. It's sad that it's been pulled down, but
it is.
Halloween 3, great movie. I love Halloween 3. I think it's terrific. Really, really.
Do you know what? I don't watch the Halloween films anywhere near as much as what I used to. I just I don't enjoy them as much. But lately, I've been thinking that I think, and I never ever thought in a million years I'd say this. I think Halloween 3 is probably edging its way as my favourite one of the lot now.
Yeah,
It was
it's
always
always
1, 2, and 3, but I think
yeah.
3 has gone up there. Do you know what done it for me? The last time I watched that box set all the way through of the Blu-rays before the 4Ks come out, I don't know what it was, but Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 put me on a right downer. It was awful how it made me feel. I was off work with depression at the time anyway, but it was so bleak. The violence in it, the way that the two characters who play, like Laurie Strode and her friend, they were just like absolutely horrible people. They weren't in the original, even the remake of it, but in that, they'd gone through that much. They were horrible.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was everything, and air with that fucking white horse. But when I first saw that film, I loved it. I can't abide it now. But ever since then, I don't think I've watched all the Halloweens all the way through in one go like that again since.
Yeah, yeah.
They've always been like very, very like when the 4Ks come out, didn't watch them all in one go.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean. I've always loved Halloween 3. I say always loved. It took me a while. I mean, I remember seeing it as a kid and being disappointed, but then over the years, kind of, really, really finding a connection with it. I love him in it. I think that
I do.
I think Connell Cochran is such a great character,
I
and
love
that
him. Yeah,
speech that he gives towards the end.
You love to hate him. He's brilliant, though.
Yeah, it's terrific. Dick Warlock as well, playing one of those robots.
Yeah.
I thought he was terrific in that.
Did you ever see the original rental tape, the Thorny MI one?
With the cuts?
Every single death scene and gore was gone.
But the
except
weird
for the
thing
family
was,
in the room.
Yeah, but the weird thing was when it was on TV, all the stuff was in.
Yeah, I think they did that by mistake. It was on BBC Two, I think, one Halloween.
Yeah.
And I remember I thought, I'll watch it. It's on. And it got to the misfire. And all you saw was their hands go like that and it faded to black. But on this, I was like, holy shit, man, I hasn't got that on. And then when the robots pull the head off, you see Dick Warlock's arms go like that and it went off. You actually see them pull the head off. I'm like, I've never seen this. No wonder the bloody cut it. Thinking that at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you ever get the chance, if anybody's watching, if you ever get the chance to see the original Thorny MI ex-rental of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, I blame that for why so many people in this country hated it.
Yeah.
Because I hated it when I first seen it, but it's like watching a different film when you watch the uncut one.
It is. You're right. You're right. Brandon's put a link in the chat. It says you can purchase bricks from the factory here. They're selling them online. Fantastic.
Can you imagine how much one of them would cost and shipping the brick from the States over here
to the UK?
You would be shipping bricks paying that price.
Shipping brick. I give you the name of your biography. Shipping bricks.
Shipping bricks.
So the Fog was my number 2. Your number 1 would be.
What do you think?
Are you going with the Friday box set?
I certainly am.
Okay.
I absolutely love this. Never part with this. I know they've been releasing them on 4K. I don't like the way they've done it, though.
They're slowing down with that, aren't they? It's just, what's going on?
Right, so the original came out in America with a slip. Part 2 came out in America, but you had to buy that stupid Paramount horror box set to get it. So they released Part 2 over here with the slip, with the awful, dirty, great big 18 on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And I've deliberately not bought it, hoping that America would release it individually, and they haven't. Arrow have done the remake, and now they're doing Jason Goes to Hell and X. So there's still 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and Freddy vs. Jason to come out.
And that one.
Yeah, I've got that. I've pre-ordered the other 2 as well.
Yes. Yeah.
But I've ordered mine from the States, so they don't have the 18 on. It'll be the R-rated or unrated. I'm having The only one I'm going to have, if I can't get an American one, it'll be the Part 2 with the Dirty Great Big 18 on.
So what was the deal with the replacement discs? Paul in the chat, I remember that happening. I didn't do that. What happened?
There was Part 3, Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X. Part 3, I've still got the replacement discs in here. I've put them actually inside each individual one. Part 3, because I've got a 3D telly. So they actually they actually did a 3D Blu-ray version. I was like, I cannot wait to see this. The intro that they use from Part 2 isn't in 3D. So when the 3D actually starts, it's when you see them two walk out, and then it jumps to where you see Jason on the floor, pull the knife out and crawl away.
Yeah.
That bit is in 3D.
Okay.
And then the titles. But when it come out, I was like, them titles look a bit weird. It's like they were starting far back and stopping at where the screen is instead of coming out.
Yeah.
They've done something wrong with that. So because the balls up them titles, the rest of the 3D was all right, just the titles. So that was why they replaced Part 3. This was the weirdest one. Jason Goes to Hell, the unrated cut. There's a bit where, you know, whether they work in that cafe and they do the Boories burgers, that place.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a young, rather large lad works there, and he comes out. They say, "Go and check it." He comes out with a gun. He's like giving it this, pretending he's like in a film and that. And whoever's Jason at the time comes out, goes like that, and snaps his arm, and you see the bone split second go. That one little of the bone was missing, so they had to do a replacement disc for that.
Really?
It's their own fault. They should have checked all this.
Jeez.
So I've got no sympathy for them. They just rushed it out. So that was that one. And the stupidest as well was Jason X. You know, the bit where they trick him to thinking he's back in Crystal Lake. And those two girls are there going, let's smoke pot and have loads of premarital stuff. And he's whacking the hell out of them in the sleeping
bags. Yeah.
Right. In the uncorrected disc, he's whacking them, and all you do is whack as he's banging them against the bloody tree. What you should have heard is every time he does it, you hear them going, oh, oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So
then grunts were missing. So they had to do a whole new disc for that.
Jeez.
Silly things like that. I do agree with Part 3. That should have been done. And I must admit, yes, I do agree with Jason X because I'm a stickler for that. If they say to you it's the unrated cut, then it's got to be the unrated cut.
Yeah.
I had a massive issue with Kino Lorber for exactly the same thing with Dress to Kill. And that's why I can't stand the company now, because he emailed them and they didn't answer. The Arrow one looked better. Oh, yeah, you look at the Kino Lorber Dress to Kill, right? The shower scene at the beginning it's that grainy you can barely see what's going on. Where the Arrow one, yeah, it's grainy, but you can see everything, and the colours are so much better. But the bit that got me is when Nancy Allen is at the end and she's in the doctor's office and she takes the coat off and she's there with all the
Susie's.
And she says, like, do you want to meet? And he goes, yeah, why don't you? Because I'm married. And then she actually says, in the unrated version, judging by that cock in your pants, you don't look so married to me. When they cut it for R-rated, it said bulge.
Yeah.
So when I watched the unrated one, they'd left bulging. I was like, that is not unrated, and your transfer is shit. So when Arrow released it, I'm like, yeah, that's how it's done.
You complained about the cock.
Yes.
The cock and the grain.
Well, I tell you what, though, if you're trying to get somebody and you're a lass with all that, judging by that cock in your pants, judging by that bulge, it just totally ruined it.
Sloppy, isn't it? It's sloppy. You know,
yeah.
These are the selling points for these discs.
Exactly.
And if you can't get that right, bloody hell, honestly.
And that's exactly why I have absolutely zero sympathy for Scream Factory when they had to do those replacement discs, because they should have checked all that before. It must have cost them a fortune.
Yeah, yeah.
So, although they don't ship over here, I had to get mine off Amazon US, and I was like, So how am I going to get my replacement discs now? What they said was, we don't supply the disc. There was an email that they give you. You write to these, and they will send you them out when they're done. But they will ship worldwide. So you have to give them your proof of purchase and give them your address, and then just wait. And it just turned up an envelope with 3 discs.
Oh, bloody hell!
And it's like when you look at the serial number, I think there's 1 letter difference, so you know which one's the
right disc,
corrected one, and not
Yeah. They did something similar with Blair Witch Project had an issue, the second sight version recently.
I know what the issue with that was. It fucking existed. It shouldn't have ever got a release. It's fucking terrible.
I actually quite like the Blair Witch Project, but never mind. Liana says,
"No, I said this. I said I'm going to get my camera, go out there, wave it around like that, blow a big ball of snot, and say, 'Look in the corner. Can you see the witch?' And I'll be a millionaire."
Yeah, Bulge. Who says that?
Exactly. Well,
okay. What was your number one? Was that was your number one? Friday the 13th box
that
set,
was my big box. Friday the 13th. Yeah,
which is just on my shelf there as well. I have that, but I didn't get the disc replacements, unfortunately. But I've ordered Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell anyway, so they're coming through. My number one is the 4K version of Halloween, which is a 3-discer and comes in this slip, a very robust slip that you get for it. But underneath you get the original artwork and everything. I have, I think, 3 4K versions of this film now. This was a new,
I think.
Yeah, a new 2021 4K scan. It also has 2 Blu-rays with it as well, and one of the Blu-rays has the original color timing presentation as well on there. So it doesn't quite have everything that they've ever sort of released as a Halloween extra on here. There's still a lot of stuff which I have on various different versions of Halloween, which I'll never get rid of. They're all on my shelf anyway.
Yeah.
But it is probably the best version that's out there at the moment. In fact, all of these 4K Scream Factory releases, and I have all of them, apart from Rob Zombie's. They've never done those, and I'm not particularly bothered because I'm not a massive fan of those films. They've never done them in 4K.
I'm bothered because it's really getting to me that they're the only 2 that aren't out on 4K. Now it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, or whether they're going to come at some stage. I think Umbrella did a newer box set of the regular Blu-rays in the last year or 2, haven't they?
Yeah,
but there's still no 4K, which is odd. I'm not quite sure why they do it.
Even if it's just a limited run, I don't know why they just didn't say at the Scream Factory, "Yeah, go on, you can do them."
Yeah. Maybe it'll come. I don't know, because there's still the definitive box with the 3 new movies, or the 3 recent movies. That would come at some stage, I would imagine. So maybe it'll be part of that whenever Trancas get around to doing that re-release again. Because if you think about it, in 3 years' time, it's going to be 10 years since Halloween 2018 came out. That's only 3 years away.
Right.
So I'm sure they will put something together for that.
I'll show you mine. Give me a sec. Oh, I pressed the wrong thing.
Oh, he's gone. Where did he go? He said, "I'll show you mine," and then went. Perhaps he'll come back in a second. But yeah, that Halloween box set is my favorite version of Halloween. And I think my favorite version before this was probably that Criterion Laserdisc version that I had, that for some reason I got rid of years ago. Stupidly, when I sold my player. While Nigel prepares whatever it is he's going to show me, let's have a look at some of the chat. Hopefully he'll rejoin. Oh, he's back. Here we go.
I pressed the wrong button. I better do that. With me water bell end. This is the Halloween I got on 4K.
Oh,
Have you seen this
very
before?
nice. I've seen it online, but I've never seen one in person like that.
1, 2, and 3 I've got like this.
Is that the US or the UK that did that?
US, it's Screen Factory.
Okay. Oh, nice.
So you get a 7-inch single in,
Right.
and it's still got the hard box one in there.
Oh, fantastic.
But the single, this has got it's got another white sleeve. Side 1, Halloween theme. Side B, Laurie's theme. But it's performed by John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and Daniel Davies.
There you go. Dave Davis's son.
Oh, look at that.
Like a tiger. That's fantastic. I like
Proper
that.
Halloween colours are, and the orange and black. This is from a company called Sacred Bones, because they always work very closely
with Carpenter,
with Scream Factory.
Yeah.
So Scream Factory had their own coloured 7-inch. This is the Sacred Bones one, because these do ship internationally. They didn't. So for me, that was more Halloween colours. The Scream Factory one, I didn't like it. It had like red in it and white and yellow or something. I was like, I like that one. I mean, to be honest, I probably would have wanted both, but I'm not that bothered.
Yeah, it's still a nice thing to have. And did the Halloween 2 and 3, did they have different colours as well?
Yeah. I think were they the same colours? I can't even remember now. But yeah, it's the same. It is open.
Yeah.
But I always keep that on.
You always slit it down the side, right?
Oof. Yes. You can't beat it when you slit it down the side, I tell thee. But yeah, they're so nice then. The only thing wrong with them is they do, if you can see that, some of the black has it does scratch off very, very easily.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to be very careful with them. But if you look there, it does actually have the Sacred Bones logo and the Scream Factory logo.
Yeah.
And the Compass International pictures is even there.
Yeah. Excellent. That's very nice. And what's the etching on number 2 and 3? Is it?
Well, I'll show you.
You didn't cut yourself off this time.
No, I didn't. Well, I thought I was being clever. Right.
I have to also ask you, Nigel, as well. Someone in the chat asked what that picture is behind on the wall. It's you, I take it.
It's me, yeah. It's me. Somebody got that made for me.
Is that an actual shot of you playing a guitar?
Yes, I was actually on stage then. Somebody took the photograph, and then 2 people who I know actually took that and got that flag made for me. It must have cost a fortune.
That's excellent.
So it's got my YouTube channel there.
Yeah.
And the premium British. They didn't tell me. And they used to live down here, but they moved up to Scotland. And I got this thing in the post one day. I was like, what the hell is this? I'm in ordered now. So I was like, what the? And I opened it. I was like, oh my God. I had no idea who sent it. So I did a video and I was like, can you please let me know who you are? And when the silly buggers let me know, I was like, hey, God, loved it. What a lovely thing to do.
It's great. So what's the band called?
Oh, that band, I was in a band before, and I'm back in that band now. Like, that was my first band called Afraid to Sleep.
Right.
Write all our own stuff.
Yeah. We
did split up. So I formed another band, and our singer come up with the name, and I've always thought it very cringe. The Fury Remains. I don't think it makes sense. But that was a Fury Remains gig. That was in 2000 and I think it was 17.
It's a very Steve Harris pose.
It's a Steve Harris bass.
Is it? Oh,
yeah,
right, there you go.
Edition it's the West Ham colours. See that there?
Yeah.
He's actually signed it for me.
Oh, wow.
It actually says to Nigel, all the best, Steve Harris. And he's put the West Ham thing, so I actually went and got it lacquered on.
Very nice.
He's done 3 signature basses. He did one in 2001, one in 2009, and that one in 2015. I've got all 3.
Excellent. And
So this is Halloween.
That's what you play, is it? Bass?
Bass, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of there's one actually. There's a video of me on my YouTube channel where I'm doing "Hallowed Be Thy Name."
Okay. Oh, check
along
that
with
out.
the record, so you'd actually hear my bass on the record. But
Yeah.
it was actually I was singing now, Afraid to Sleep singing. It was like a fella who did it. He's going to do another one for me. I put a thing up before for people. What cover do you want me to do next? And the Wicker Man one.
Oh, wow.
The Iron Maiden song, the Wicker Man.
Yeah.
I've done a couple myself where I've been in here and it's just like, it sounds crap because it wasn't like plugged in or out. There's The Trooper and Infinite Dreams.
Oh, I love Infinite Dreams. What a song.
That's one of my favourite ones, that, yeah.
Okay, so this one's Halloween 2.
Halloween 2. So the single to this, it's the same artwork on the sleeve.
Yep.
The shape enters Laurie's room, and side B is the shape stalks again, and it's by the three of them again.
Yeah.
I have yet to play these singles, but I will, because I want to know what they sound like. Yeah, it's the same colour. But the labels are obviously to match the film more.
Very cool.
Never finger mark the plane surfaces.
Always check your discs.
Oh, yes. Oh, when I see somebody maul a record on there, I'm like, it's like blackboard, fucking nails on a blackboard to me, that. Oh, it boils me piss. You spend enough on them, it's like, well, look after them. And then you get the regular 4K that you got there. Halloween 3 is probably my favourite one, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like my favourite looking one.
Yeah. I forgot to do a little show and tell, and I've shown these before, but maybe you haven't seen them. When I was talking about the fog, I have a drink to go with the fog.
Ooh.
And I also have a drink
They Live
to go with They Live. And a drink to go with
the Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness. And a drink.
Assault on Precinct 8. No, Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Are they actually cans of stuff with things with drink in?
Different beers. They came out over here last year. Neon Raptor, a brewing company, did a deal with, so the 4 Studio Canal Blu-rays that they brought out 4 years ago or whenever it was, they did a deal with Studio Canal to do 4 different brews, and they came out on sale and then went like that. And I was lucky enough to get 3 of each, one which I gave to a good friend of mine, Chris, and then I've got 4 of each. I drank a set myself as well, and I've still got 2 sets left.
Oh my God.
So I've still got 2 sets
left. I will look with them then. They're long gone.
I did. You might still get some of them online. Different companies did grab them, so I had to get them from various different places. And they're not half bad either as well.
I've never seen them. I knew nothing about them.
There's a blue bubblegum sour, which is They Live, which actually was okay. There's a coffee and vanilla stout, which is Prince of Darkness.
I bet that's nice.
There's also the fog is a hazy IPA, and then the Escape from New York one is a session IPA. So yeah.
Oh, I'd like to quaff all 4 of them.
They do. They actually, the same company have done them for Evil Dead as well.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. You just got to keep out. It's just one of those things you never appreciate would pop up at all. So you're never looking out for branded beers for Carpenter movies. Do you know what I mean?
I wish I'd have known about them.
Yeah. No,
so you've saw those 2?
Yeah, brilliant.
Wait till you see this.
Okay, what's number 3 like? That's cool. That's very cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then the single again. I've actually got a flexi disc, and all it's got on it is an orange pumpkin when you play it.
It does. Does it have the Silver Shamrock theme on this, or is it Chariot of the Pumpkins or something?
This is Chariot of Pumpkins, which I don't know what that is.
That's the opening music to. It's not the opening theme because that's I forget what that is. But Chariot of the Pumpkins is the one where Stacey Nelkin's dad's running down the street clutching the mask, being chased by at the start.
Right.
That's
I love that
Chariot
bit
of
as
the
well.
Pumpkins. Yeah, it's a great
And
bit of music.
Side B is Season of the Witch.
Right. Okay.
But again, it's the three of them doing it, so they're all like totally re-recorded.
Yeah.
And again, picky labels and
very
jolly
nice.
pretty, aren't they?
Yeah, very cool.
I will play them one day, though. I'm dying to know what they sound like. Once they go back in there, I forget about them.
Do you not feel pissed off that they stopped at 3? Would you like to have done them all?
Yeah, it would have been nice, but then again, it wouldn't have happened with the Universal one. So I think 3 of the main ones. So I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
they did do the Fog the same, and they did do
did they?
Yeah, they did. I wasn't overly bothered about that as long as I had these because they also did They Live. Did they do Prince of Darkness? No. Or did they? Have they released Prince of Darkness on 4K Scream Factory? Or is it just Blu-ray they've done?
No, I think might be just Blu-ray. I think they've done They Live. Maybe. I can't remember now. I did look the other day. No, they've done Escape from New York.
They've done Escape from New York. They Live.
Yeah.
The Fog. Then 3. They've done maybe another 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah.
Can't know what they are.
Because the Escape from New York they just brought out on Steelbook is the same as the Fog. They've done a HDR Atmos pass on it. So I've got that on order at the moment. So, but I'm not too keen on the artwork on the Steelbook. It's a bit, I don't know.
Is it the one that looks like graffiti?
Yeah.
I think that looks lovely.
I probably will do when I get hold of it, but I couldn't even see what it was when I was ordering it. I just sort of thought I do want it, but
is it like the Statue of Liberty, but like
with graffiti
really
over
bright
it,
and colourful?
Yeah.
The thing is, though, with them films, I'm more than happy with those, but I've wanted them box sets for ages.
Yeah,
and I just got them recently for an amazing price for them, the thing included as well.
Yeah,
they're not the films. I'm not going to go and buy them all again because of HDR or anything like that. So they'll do me.
Yeah, of course.
They'll more than do me, in fact.
Right, I have to go because I'm going out with my wife tonight. And we're supposed to leave in about 15 minutes, so I shouldn't keep her waiting much longer. Thank you so much, Nigel, for joining us. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me again. I've really enjoyed it.
And then maybe, a month or so down the line, maybe, I don't know if you have enough Second Sight titles to do this with Second Sight as well.
A top 10?
Yeah.
I think I might have, actually.
Yeah, because they do go back a few years now. Back to, things like When a Stranger Calls and Assault on Precinct 13 and things like that.
I've got When a Stranger Calls. I've got one there as well, which is like really hard to get, and I got it for a really good price recently, extra.
Oh, yeah. I've got that one as well.
I've got the box one.
Yeah, and I got 2 this morning, actually.
The Brood?
No, I got those. Those were last month. The Brood and Scanners were last month, but House of the Devil.
I've just been given that on Blu-ray. I've never seen it. It's Ty West, isn't it?
Great. Absolutely terrifying.
Really?
Very scary. In a very retro way, in a kind of like, almost like, it's got a real 70s, 80s vibe to it, but very scary.
I love the X trilogy, all 3 of them, so I'm looking forward to seeing it, actually.
Oh, you'll like House of the Devil. I think House of the Devil
is better. Is that a 4K that as well?
No, they didn't do them in 4Ks, the numbskulls, because I also got that as well, which is just fucked up.
I don't think I fancied that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty full on. The surprising thing for me with that film is it's a 15.
Wow.
When you watch it, you actually see a lot less than what you think you see. But it surprised me it was a 15, given the subject matter of the film.
Did you get any of the French ones? Did you get Inside?
Yeah, I've got Inside.
Wow, that is terribly brutal. I loved it though. What a film!
Inside. I've got
that. That is excellent.
One of my favorites.
I love that. I love that one.
One of my favorites is that one.
I didn't get that. I'm gutted.
The Guest. But yeah,
I've never seen it, but I want that set. But people want hundreds of pounds for it. Well, they can go and stick it right in their hoop.
Hoop.
That's my daughter. I've got that
on. Okay. Brandon says the coffee table is like marriage, never again. Everybody says that. I know so many people.
You'll do for me. That'll do me. I don't want to see it.
So many people watch it and go, I will never watch that film again. It is the most angst-ridden, depressing, tense, and upsetting ride you will ever go on. It's.
That's not the one about the bloke who's dying, is he?
No.
On his deathbed, because there's one similar. It's supposed to be absolutely bleak.
No. This is about an accident that happens in a house.
Oh.
A guy's in his house alone with his kid, and an accident happens, and he tries to cover it up. And his wife comes back. There's all sorts of other kind of mitigating circumstances as well, but it's one of those films where some horrible event happens, which just snowballs and snowballs to the point that by the end of the film, there's no upside to it whatsoever. Absolutely no upside to that film whatsoever. It's very tough to watch. And if you're a parent, Paul H is saying bleak is an understatement. If you're a parent, I get that you would feel quite ill watching it. I don't have kids, so I was, but I appreciate it horror films and films like that. They're supposed to get a response out of you.
Yeah, they
are. It does the job. And so I respect it for that. And I said when I watched it, I'll probably never watch it again. And I did a video on it, and I got so much shit from people as well saying, "Oh, you're fucking fucked up if you like this film," and all that kind of stuff. I really appreciate it for what it is. And I will watch it again because I think it's so well made. Is it
an American film?
Spanish.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, people said the same about a Serbian film, and I thought, Jesus Christ, I don't know what all the fuss was about. So when here's as bad as what people say it is.
I did a YouTube short on a Serbian film, Frank and I did about 2 years ago, and for some reason it's gathered a lot of momentum over the last couple of months, and we've got tens of thousands of views on it. And I saw a message this morning from a woman who'd written in the comments section that I could never watch this film again. Why she was watching it in the first place, I've no idea. But she said, I don't want to talk about it, but it makes me cry all the time. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, you said cry all the time? You mean so you're watching it more than once? I don't. Yeah.
Unless it's when you go to a Serbian film, you go. I thought it once was young. I wouldn't buy it like that, but I think people were really overreacting.
Well, Brandon says Serbian film is nasty just for the sake of nastiness.
Yeah,
The
it is.
Table is a legitimately great film. It is. It is.
I found Cannibal Holocaust more disturbing than a Serbian film. That knocked me sick.
Yeah.
Because of all the animal cruelty.
I'd agree with that because at least you know in a Serbian film what they're doing isn't real.
Exactly.
In Cannibal Holocaust, a lot of that stuff is. Anyway, thank you, sir. Maybe we'll
thank you very much indeed for having me. I've really enjoyed it.
No problem at all. I love having you on. And like I say, maybe next time we'll do Second Sight or somebody like that, one of those other companies.
Yep. I'll definitely look forward to it.
Cool. Just give everybody a shout out. Tell them about your channel, where they can find it, and what you do, all that kind of stuff.
The channel is Rock God 2004. Don't ask me why it's called that, because I had the channel before I knew I was going to be doing this. Started off with just me doing little crappy things that just to amuse myself, but then it's just now I do like unboxings and reviews and bass covers. And I do vinyl, and I do vinyl as well, because I love my records, I love my music. So it's not just film, it's music as well, but it is predominantly films. Lovely box sets and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's a good channel, and like I blame you for me buying all this crap that's lying around me at the moment. So
thank you, sir. I will take that as a huge compliment.
Okay, folks, listen, everybody, have a fantastic Easter. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're getting up to, I'm going to try and do some content over this weekend because I've got a few days off. I'm also I'm going away for pretty much a week in a week's time. I'm going to try and back up some content to release while I'm away as well, just to keep things ticking over. I'm sure Frank and I might do a live maybe on Monday. I've got to reach out to him and find out, but we did a live the other day on our 10 favorite pieces of physical media, which is live at the moment. And it wasn't just DVDs and Blu-rays, it was books, posters, crap, any records. Records were on there. But yeah, I'm going to try and reach out to Frank and see if we can do something this weekend as well at some stage. But
my latest video is my top 10 favorite live albums of all time.
I watched it and I did my
an hour and 20 fucking minutes. And I thought, I can't pause that. I thought, you know what? No, I had a blast, sod it. And I Scott said to me, have you seen your video? I went, I didn't expect to get over it. He went, it's got over 600 views. I was like, what?
Well, this is the thing. You forget that people like, I have a 2-hour commute to the office every day, right? And putting something like that on sees me through most of the journey. Do you know what I mean? So don't ever be bothered about putting long form content out there. I mean, you know what you like when you do your live streams on a Friday night with Keith or with Scott. You're going for 6-7 hours sometimes.
It's different when you're on there and people are interacting with you, though. When it's a video, just me talking about what I've got, you might get you boring fat bastard. But no, people seem to be lapping it up. I'm really, really shocked. So I'm thinking of doing my top 10 favorite studio albums of all time at one point.
There you go. There you go. All those Duran Duran stuff dusted off. All your Deacon Blue.
I've just got a new Duran Duran record. Arrived today, an album.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure we'll see it on this new show.
Maybe I should do my Duran Duran vinyl, shouldn't I? I've got quite a bit now.
Do that. Why not?
Sorry, I mean Iron Maiden and Metallica and Megadeth. I didn't mean to say Duran Duran. The shit.
Hey, Duran Duran, one of the best live bands I've ever seen.
Piss off. You've
honestly
seen them as well.
Yeah, I could not believe how heavy they were live. Because
they are very, very underrated. John Taylor's bass playing is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And when Andy Taylor was in, he was quite an heavy guitar player.
Oh, he was, because he did he was producer for a lot of rock bands, right? Thunder he produced, I think, if I remember
I'm sure
rightly.
he produced Steve Jones as well at the Sex Pistols when he did solo stuff, when he went all metal-y. Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Great band live. Honestly, if you get a chance to see them, you'll be surprised.
I would love to, so piss off.
All right, folks.
Did you ever get to see Thin Lizzy?
No, but I saw.
I did. I won that one.
I saw. I tell you, I tell you, I have seen. I've seen. I was at the Led Zeppelin O2 gig, so that's pretty cool. That's my ace card. There you go.
I don't know whether to brag about this or hide in shame, but I have seen Michael Jackson live.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Have you?
Why not?
No, you haven't. Two Timmy! Bass, I'll teach him to brag about everything he's got.
Right, I'm off to drink my Escape from New York beer now, so I'll see you later.
I'm going to stick that can right up your hoop.
Folks, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.